All right, there will continue more to follow, but more top stories right here on Breakfast Central. Let's take you to Kenya right here on Breakfast Central, where the President Uhuru Kenyatta has extended the COVID-19 containment measures for another 60 days in the country after a meeting with opposition leaders that was also attended by the Health Minister, that's Mutahi Kagwe.
Now, the measures are meant to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, which by yesterday had claimed over 4,378 lives from the over 224,000 confirmed deaths. Now, our correspondent Abdinol Aden joins us now for more on the developments. Good morning, Abdinol.
Good morning, Olu and Oli. How are you there in the studio?
Well, we're not doing badly based on the news you get in Nigeria, but let's focus on Kenya this morning, Abdin. Tell us what prompted this move by the President Kenyatta to extend these measures for another 60 days. Kenya has seen quite extreme levels of lockdown since the COVID-19 pandemic started, hasn't it?
Exactly, and I think for the last few days, political activities in the country have really escalated. But the shocking thing is the number of people being buried over the past few days. Families are losing their loved ones. Almost every part of the country is burying someone, is bereaved, and this is mainly because there are, to some extent, lack of adherence to the COVID-19 measures, like putting on the mask, hand washing, the basic protocols. And this has really caused an alarm to the government, even though the decision by President Kenyatta hasn't been received well, Oli.
Right. Now, I mean, Abdinol, you've just told us some of the things that are responsible for the increasing number of cases in Kenya, talking about the inappropriate use of face masks, and some of them have not been practicing social distancing. Is there any other thing, again, that is responsible? Because we have been preaching, and even the people of Kenya, the government of Kenya has been preaching for people to adhere to some of this or to most of the COVID-19 protocols. Is there any other reason that is responsible for the increasing number of cases?
Well, exactly. Despite the government trying to be as serious and as efficient as possible to ensure the adherence to the COVID-19 protocols, I mean, the police to the public ratio, the gap is very wide, and this is, unable to give power for the enforcement. And at marketplaces and to some extent, public gatherings, weddings are going on as normal, despite the government putting the maximum number allowed as at 100. So people are really disregarding these COVID-19 measures, and even the vaccination efforts, despite the government making it free and a lot of public facilities at accessible areas providing the vaccination. There are a lot of anti-vax campaigns in the country, and lack of interest in the vaccination, and as well as the lack of adherence to the COVID-19 protocols and other religious and cultural beliefs are really frustrating the safety measures, in as much as it's really hurting to be under this lockdown and restrictions.
Well, Abdin, the containment measures announced by President Kenyatta include nationwide 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. curfew, suspension of all physical public gatherings and political rallies, and even campaign meetings for the impending elections. Now, do you see this having any negative impact on activities, especially the campaigns?
Well, politically speaking, I think Kenyans are really angry by the double standard being witnessed here. As we speak, yesterday and even today, the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and other leaders have held several meetings to drum up support towards the general elections. We've seen massive public gatherings in different places in relation to political activities. But only the other key issue here is the police brutality that has been experienced in the enforcement of this curfew. Earlier this month, we've lost two Kenyan brothers, Benson Jiru and Emmanuel Mutura. We've also had the Independent Police Oversight Authority and human rights organizations listing dozens of young people's lives lost as part of the enforcement of this curfew. I mean, the key unfairness that Kenyans are expressing themselves is in relation to why is COVID-19, I mean, are politicians and political activities immune from the pandemic? That's the question.
All right, now let's talk about vaccination, Abdinor. I mean, the government of Kenya has given over 2.5 million vaccines with 748,000 people fully vaccinated. What other plans are being put in place to ensure more people get vaccinated in Kenya?
One of the mostly affected regions in terms of lower uptake of the vaccination has been the coastal region, which is predominantly Muslim, and it's not related to religion in any way, but we've had some of these places where historically there were challenges in relation to such campaigns where people have strict religious beliefs and other misconceptions. But we've seen the last few days and even weeks an acceleration in even religious leaders are coming out to try and encourage the people to take the vaccines. People are even now taking the vaccines in camera, unlike before where people feared to be stigmatized for taking the vaccine. I mean, even family WhatsApp groups, social groups, journalists, and many other social media platforms, the debates between those who are opposing the vaccine and those who are pro the vaccine, it's really reducing because people are really feeling the pain of burying the loved ones just because the vaccine option is not has not been pursued.
All right, Adrian, quite a lot happening in Kenya, including the ongoing World Under-20 Athletics Championship. I hope it's not going to get affected with all this extended curfew.